as a future teacher, how can we leverage technology to return the U.S. to excellence in education, particularly in the areas of science and engineering, and what role might online learning play in the process?
Obviously, almost every startup that's going to be successful and do something clever and different than other people needs good engineers. and so that's an important life. So we used to talk about creativity. We need more creativity in our schools. The kids would be smarter at math and science and things like that, like they are in the countries from Southeast Asia. They come over and they can just calculate better than us. That's not really all where it's at. It's a lot of a mixture of ideas and vision mixed with some talents. For one thing, when you start to school, are you going to be creative or not? These are called creativity subjects because they let us create new things. But really, think about this. You're writing a paper in school. Everyone else is writing a paper. They're all different, right? But you're in a STEM class and you get a bunch of multiple choice questions and they're all the same answer as everyone else. And it's an answer out of a book more than it's an answer out of your own thinking in your own head. So schools do a lot to downplay thinking differently and thinking for yourself. You're called intelligent if you have the same answer as everyone else, and they have the same books. 1 million people have the same books as you. Either you're going to have to study those books harder, which never fails. You know, when I did my math books in high school, we'd be assigned questions 1 to 37, do the odd questions. I would answer every single one of them. Every single one, just like, I don't know, it was just a thing in my life that I loved to do. When you love something in school, sometimes though you're told, you might love this and want to go further and further in this one area, but you've also got subject B, subject C, subject D, and subject E to get done this week, and you've got quizzes coming up, and so you're all often inhibited in really stretching to the limit where you can go on your own. I wish that every student could, like the third year of college, where you really get to choose a lot of your own courses that you really want, your electives. I wish that you could do that a lot earlier in life, and we can't do it with the way schools are structured now. Hopefully, I thought computers coming into schools are going to change all that, because a computer can be sort of like a teacher, but computers haven't been like teachers, and they're more like smart books. And someday I hope that a computer has a personality that becomes your best friend. And then we got one teacher per student, you can never fail. Class size is the most important thing, and I come from the state, California, where we're 50th in the nation in class size. Mississippi's well behind us. Has to do with propositions with funding, and funding comes from votes, and a family of 5 gets no more votes than a family of 2, so schools don't get that much money. But I don't have time to go into that whole story. Anyway, I think it's very important to encourage anyone who wants to. Not everyone should come out to be, a super math whiz. Society doesn't need that, but some people in their jobs, it really helps. I look at my job, I was in heavy-duty analog electronics with deep mathematics and calculus to design things, and I switched to computers, and a 5th grader knows enough math to design everything's in a computer, all of the logic and all of the programming, and it just takes long, detailed thinking processes. It's a different thing than mathematics. And so did I ever use algebra or, much mathematics? I had high-level mathematics up to quantum physics. But did I ever use that in my job at Apple? Answer is really no.
What did you use in your job?
What did I use in my job? Just my experience, my 10,000 hours. They say put 10,000 hours in to get good at something. That'll never, ever fail you. Just work on your own little favorite things for a long time. You'll get better and better than anyone else. The top people always get in. So I would sit down and for hardware design, how can I put these pieces together? I've been doing it for 10,000 hours since elementary school. I know how to solder the wires and make it very few pieces. Very small and simple was my whole approach to life, and I could generally design things in half as many parts as a normal engineer. I got good at it just because I could never afford the parts to build anything, but I wanted to keep designing them all through high school, and I just got better and better at making my designs fewer and fewer parts till they were half as many parts as the companies that were making the computers. I never thought I'd have a job designing computers because I could never afford to build one, but so it came out of internal. What you want inside is really, don't let schools stop and hold you down even. But I couldn't have done it without a lot of the mathematics. I mean, there were projects I did at Apple that turned out to be critical for our success that actually came directly from, some of the way I did them better than others came directly from university courses I took. And here I was, just a little third-year student taking only graduate courses in hardware and software design. That's where I was in the world. But it's because I loved it so much. Don't be held back from what you love. And And I wish schools had more ability, like give you resources and tools and let you go on your own things rather than everything is very specifically defined what you have to do and what's expected.